Can you hear me? Okay. The worst car I have driven? A 1987 Suzuki Jimny manual.
Why?
The gears, I've never driven gears which are so hard like that, and a car which is so dead like that, because I drove it when I was over 30 years old. A radio. Also a infotainment system. Something that can play my music, audiobooks, or at least music. Kill the CVT, date the manual, marry the dual clutch.
Do you happen to call it a Prindo? But do you know it is a gear shifter? Today, we bring you Africa's, the man who lives and breathes a motor car. And we are going to speak about how to use thought leadership to actually do business, knowledge. Kogama, this is not a cooking business. This is not a chifere business. We are bringing light to actually the car industry. How you actually build a reputation the right way and then make money while doing it. So, Mark.
I think before you even jump in there, for those of you that can again of motor.
With us.
And with Africans, indeed. So, Mark.
Yeah.
We've dropped things like thought leadership, what?
Big words.
Big nenkanis. To you, what is it? What is thought leadership? And why is it? How do I use it? What? You're not. So good. Tell me.
Well, I'm not a TED talker here, right? But I'm going to give you.
will be the
I'm going to give you my. I'm going to give you my understanding of what really thought leadership is like. Yeah?
Okay.
So thought leadership, to my understanding, is really that position where you are an authority, or where you have an understanding of something that you are good at, and you're able to influence the people around you to make a decision or take action based on what you know. Yeah, and they sort of respect you for that or because of that.
Surely we respect you, sir. You have been at this. You have been at this game.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be here.
But so that means for me to become a thought leader, I really have to invest time.
You definitely need to invest time, but more than that, you have to be passionate about that field. So I can't be a thought leader in cooking. That's what comes to mind right now, because I love food, but I'm not passionate about cooking or being a chef, for example. So you have to have the passion. It's something that maybe somebody will tap you at 2 a.m. You're deep in a sweet dream, like, boss, how do I create this equation which does this? Just do this and this and this. Okay, good night, and you go back to it. So that kind of thing is where
instinctive. It's
that's something that just gets your blood flowing faster.
So, as a thought leader in cars, how did you get there?
Yes, I think that's the biggest question everyone has. Like, okay, yes, thought leader, all these things knowledgeable. How did you get there?
How did you as a car enthusiast?
Yeah, I think you said it. I'm an enthusiast in the field of cars. How did I get there? I just grew up loving cars. That's it. And so now, if you ask me, say, any question now, I'll probably be able to do it without you paying me. Yeah, that's the other thing about being that kind of passionate individual. So how did I get there where I am right now? On top of the passion that I had, I now developed the interest in trying to help people, because I realized having conversations with people, it ended up being lengthy just because someone says, oh really? Ah, okay. So tell me, how do I buy this car? Why shouldn't I buy this one over this one? Then you go through a whole expose trying to teach them. So you sort of become a lecturer. And that's how I ended up getting to where I am.
Interesting.
Simply.
So if you're new here and you don't know Africa's, we shall put it in the description. Africa's is a
Yeah,
creator.
when you can find it in the corner somewhere there, fast.
First, you know,
Yeah, before
because
anything
we
else.
cannot break in two. From Prindos to DLF to engines. He will. I don't know.
You love this spring.
You see.
But when we get to manual,
No, you see.
yeah.
There are also these ones that are like dials. It's like car designers also need to be serious. They are taking us speed. Then you will see a glass thing for you think it's.
But you see, now that is where you, the buyer, you have to have your change of mind. Yeah. Because now, that car you're complaining about, it wasn't made for you.
me,
That's how we
let me work hard.
Work hard, that's
Yeah.
it. You're the target market, sir.
Because now, if you get into how people are stressing you, if you find the latest Tesla, same model S, for example, you actually change the gears on that screen. That screen which you think you'll only change the radio and change the music and what. For them,
Screen is for SC.
they've integrated changing the gears on the screen. So you just swipe up if you want to go forward.
to pick a call and I park.
Well, all that has been worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but interesting. So,
Yeah.
we talked about thought leadership and what
Yeah.
it means, and how you become a thought leader. Now, how do you use that knowledge and expertise to drive action? Because, I mean, you've been doing this for the longest time. How do you use that knowledge to drive people to actually
Let
act?
me ask you this question.
Yes, please.
What car brand
Yes.
do you think spends the most globally on marketing?
On marketing,
Yeah.
the most.
Who I said.
Like, no, it can't be. I was going to say Honda, but it's not Honda. It's got to be some luxury brand, those ends. Like it's some Italian thing, like a Lamborghini.
Like
or something
Lamborghini
that.
or something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they do like one, like two ads that look like they cost half
Half
of
a
the GDP.
half a GDP
Half
of a
of
country,
a
right?
small country, those ends.
Do you know? Can you guess of any? Nothing. It's actually Toyota.
Wait a minute.
Exactly. Toyota spends it's the car brand that spends the most
Yeah,
globally
yeah.
on marketing.
Interesting.
Now that's exactly how I get people to take action. Have your attention. So I can tell you anything and you act. So what I sort of just will not go so much into the details of something that's random and rare. Like I won't come to my social media and tell people about, say, Citroen and the cars they're making because I love Citroen. No. We'll discuss what you actually know. Prados, Harriers, maybe Benzes, G-Class, whatever. Cars that people know, but what you actually don't know. You actually realize you don't know.
You
Yeah.
just see,
Yes.
but you don't really.
So you know, you like, you know, I'm the guy. I'm not showing off here, but say, you know, you come here and say, you know, this guy doesn't know what he's saying or whatever, and then you say, for me, I have my guy there in Deba. He knows how to fix my Harrier and what. But have you ever asked him why the car behaves the way it does and why the car is failing the way it is failing?
Okay. So what I'm
Yeah.
getting is how you use your expertise is
Yeah.
the detail. Because
Yes.
I've much as I like cars, I've never sat down to think who spends the most. I know Toyota sells the most, but I've never really sat down to think, okay, who really spends the most?
Exactly, and that also, now that gets you thinking.
Yeah.
Is it? Could that be actually the reason why
They're selling
globally Toyotas actually are the most driven cars? Not exactly that they are the best,
Yes.
Yeah, cars, but the most driven.
because they market. Yeah,
So that's the power of having.
it's just that they also market
Yeah.
a good
The
product.
Good product.
Versus the price.
And yet, some products which are not good, but because of the marketing in a certain way, these things sort of become really not talked about.
Yeah. So and you know I love like what you've said, because you see the car industry is sensitive. Yeah. It's a learning. There's a lot of trust issues. The people buy things based on what they grew up seeing or all these things.
Yeah.
So as a person who has built a car business, a car brand, and is an industry educator, what are those lessons you've learned from being around or being in the car industry that you actually have seen very useful in everyday life?
Let me ask you this question. Sorry, you're asking
No,
me and I'm
no,
asking
it's
you.
okay.
Let me ask another question. Why do you think people buy Range Rovers? They're cool, right? Okay.
Cool.
And why do you think they're cool?
Design.
Why do you think people buy Rolls Royces?
Deep down, I believe it's something to do with taxes. It has something to do with taxes. Okay, you asked me about Range Rovers. The one I know for sure, in most wealthy countries, not wealthy countries. The size of the car sort of sometimes determines the tax bracket you're going to fall in when you're paying taxes. So Range Rover is almost like a van of sorts. So the tax on that slightly drops. And then, I mean, it's like a hotel on wheels. It's a hotel room on wheels. So less tax, luxury.
And
Of course, it will break down half the time, but it looks good.
Yeah.
And car saving in the pocket.
Yeah.
Ish.
Let me ask you the last question. Do you know the first Range Rovers were not driven by celebrities?
They're driven by us.
They're driven by family people, just guys who own,
Interesting.
farms and what. But in the early 2000s, guys started buying Range Rovers, especially footballers, right? Movie stars started buying Rolls Royces.
Yeah.
I mean, Rolls Royce has always been but still,
Yeah.
even in the 70s, the 80s, who were buying them? Presidents and people like those. So now, the question you want to ask yourself is, are you buying the Range Rover because you want to feel like you can
president.
actually afford the same car
As
that,
the president.
that Wayne Rooney bought? Or whoever, Beckham, those are the guys I know. Yeah? Right? Do you know that there are some people who buy the Lamborghini, the GLE coupe, that fancy Benz? Why? Because Messi bought one.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah,
Want to be
if you bought the
If
bi-turbo
if you bought,
GLE
I
60,
can buy one that's better.
I mean,
I should be
I
in
should-
the footsteps.
yeah,
Yeah.
in the footsteps, because you actually relate with those people. Yeah. So at the end of the day, when I'm operating this industry or this business, I have understood that people do not buy cars just because they have sort of now got the money to buy them.
Yeah.
They actually buy them because of how they make them feel.
So there is any motives.
Exactly. So whatever product you are going to create, you have to have that in the end game in mind. How is this person going to feel driving this car? Football players, they love to sit high. They love to feel good. We were talking earlier about turning the gears like this. They want to feel that kind of stuff. If I have a salary that is, say, 18 million pounds or something like that, I want to have maybe diamond, buttons that take the windows down. I want maybe
Speaker systems.
20 speaker systems. I want a courtesy stand that opens like so. When I step in and I'm getting in the car.
Yeah.
Now, if there's nobody who can deliver that, they will probably get their money and spend it on something else, right? Or they will look for a brand that can do that.
So the car manufacturers have figured out what to make for them.
Exactly. Yeah,
That's
the
how
car
you cook
manufacturers
us.
have
That's how you
actually
cook us.
They've learned emotion.
exactly. Yeah, that is why you find even showrooms now. I don't know about here, probably not yet, but in those places, you go to a showroom, there's a buffet.
Yeah.
If you
Not here.
If you go to a Range Rover showroom, there's a buffet. There's juice, there are fruits, there are nice, very nice cakes, chocolates, and they can even pack for you. And you go with them, even if you don't buy the car.
If you don't buy the car, Nenga, you got to remember, I got these fruits, these chocolates.
And on top of that, they'll ask you, do you like to have a test drive? Would you like to sit in the car to feel? Then they'll tell you all those fancy things, like, you know, this leather is coming from cows which were killed, and they were killed honorably in maybe South Brazil or something like that. And the leather was treated to make this. So it's very fantastic leather, which when you feel like with the touch of your hands, with the touch of your fingers, when you sit in, you just already feel that sense of comfort. Yeah. So if you're done with the hard day of maybe they've even won you, you had a football match, they beat you maybe 4-0, at least you know I'm going home in my
a home on wheels.
I want to sit on leather that came from Brazil of a car that was
now it's companies like Rolls-Royce, okay? The internet tells us this car is this price, this car is this price, but when you actually go to the company, they will not give you a starting price.
Depends on what you want.
Yes, they'll tell you, you go there, you say, I want a Rolls-Royce, I don't want anything. They'll say, okay, would you like maybe black leather or white leather? White leather, okay. Would you like a clock that is digital or analog? So for you, you went with
a budget,
a budget in mind,
yes.
But they are not going to tell you. They will always customize something based on
your needs.
What I'm taking from this is, one, understand what your customer wants.
Yes.
Any business, whatever it is, understand what the customer wants.
Yes, and target them.
Yes, then target. So it could be based on how they feel or what they actually need. They target them,
and their satisfaction should be able to bring somebody else.
Yes. So your business depends a lot on a referral system. Like if someone trusts and you've delivered on your word, it's very easy to actually get back repeat customers from that person. And you know, like what I find very interesting, the car, it's not like buying shoes. Shoes I can go bargain, what, you know, all these things. You're talking millions, so I need to save. So what are those 3 things you've learned when you dealing with a customer who is spending that kind of money? It's not change.
I can't buy a car today and be like, nah, I'll buy it now or next week.
Yes.
It's not that kind of thing.
Yeah, like you.
Now that's you.
Yeah, you.
Okay,
That's
me.
you.
That's me.
Yeah.
Takes a while.
Yeah.
The guys.
Okay.
So
but in our market,
yes.
But in our market, usually it's I've
Mm.
saved for like, you know, I've got a loan, I've gone to a money shack where if I don't pay my legs,
Knees are going.
you know these things, like, you know, I've got, then when I scratch another person's car,
You have to beg your
you're like,
knees.
bro, take the tire. So, what are those things like? Because selling a high value product is a bit different from, you know, selling a shirt or so. What are those 3 things you always look out for, or you always focus on when making a sale?
Well, for me, I don't usually look at a car as a commodity. Yeah, because it's not. And even when you find the manufacturer, their aim, yes, was to get you from A to B. But that is why some cars will have electric seats, some of them will have maybe automatic wipers or maybe Bluetooth and all those kinds of things. Because there's a certain client they are targeting. Yeah. So if I just look at it as a commodity, then I'm not any different from somebody who is selling a phone, sugar, whatever. No. So when I'm interacting with a client, the most important thing that we have to develop is a relationship. Yeah. First and foremost, you can't just give me your money and then say, get me this. And that's, oh, thank you, sign papers and we're out. No, it's going to be a constant journey a relationship where we're going to talk and talk in detail. Okay, this is what the car looks like. What colors do you like? This and this and this and this and this.
You have your family.
Yeah, of course there'll be. Yeah, there'll be. A lot of them these days will start with a consultation call where we sort of understand. Because you might come and you want, say, a Jeep, and yet the Jeep is not going to work for you. Why? Your garage doesn't even have space to park the Jeep. Or you live in some areas of town where even if your Jeep has been riveted in every kind of way, you find no lights by the next day or by the next week.
Yeah, they will shop from you.
They will shop your
and sell it back to you.
Okay. So the most important thing is the relationship. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Don't try to sell somebody something, or because maybe they've done their research and it's say 85 million, and for you tell them, wow, that's too much, I can give for you at 79. They're like, wow, that's a saving of what, 6 million? I think it's. Then 2 months later, you're telling them, boss, you know, we need more money, these guys are not releasing the car. Then, yeah, tell the truth. If you can't actually work within that budget, just don't. Yeah. Then, the other thing you want to do is actually deliver on what you, exactly. Pretty much those are the top three I can think of.
Jene, there's a lot of trust in this thing.
I think for your business, it's, do I trust you enough
to give you money?
Not just my money, my life.
Yeah.
Because
the
car is going
the
to
car
be,
is
your life is in the car when you're in it.
Literally.
Yeah.
So actually, we should think about it that way.
Yeah.
You know.
Will I trust you with my life?
Yeah.
If you can't, then I think the sale can then happen.
Yeah. So that means most times in our market, buyers don't think of it as a commodity. So your lifestyle, your goals.
I think the thing is, don't think about it as a number plate. But resale value. No, you see, I buy you this one because I want to.
What do you want to achieve?
Yeah.
That brings me to two other points.
Yeah.
The first one being, do not buy a car because your cousin, your workmate, your mechanic, your friend said that is the car for you. No. Get actual knowledge. Get the right information.
And
professional information about the car that you actually want. You might find that actually you're making the biggest mistake. Yeah. Secondly, is, I'm forgetting, yes, impatience. If you have a syndrome of impatience, you've had the story of that statement, speed kills.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't overspeed. There is always you'll crash. You'll crash. If you're not the patient kind, then just delegate the purchase of your vehicle to somebody else who can handle the stress, the pressure, the what. Yeah.
So what I'm learning, it's buying a car is like buying land. If you kukukuta, you will buy air, as we say.
I believe buying a car is like finding a life. Don't just go for it.
You have to put
take your time.
Take your time.
before you put a ring on it.
But you're doing some sick, you make, as you said. Buy the car.
Yeah.
Then tomorrow you are in a.
And you know the thing is, globally, not just Uganda, but globally, sellers love such people. They love you so much. Oh yeah, like, can I get a black Range Rover? It must have autobiography. It must have this maybe courtesy lighting. It must have all this kind of stuff. Yes, we have one. What's the mileage? Only 38,000 kilometers. Okay, just send me your account number.
I feel like
3 months later. Boss, where are you? You're somewhere in traffic jam. You are now looking. You're calling me. Hey, Mark,
it's off.
Do you know a mechanic who fixes? Then the mechanic opens the car. Then you realize it was maybe a crashed vehicle. They gave it a nose cut. The behind is different from they're from two different vehicles. And then you find the mileage was adjusted. Yeah.
So what I'm thinking, Mark, I think we shall need to bring you back for another round.
I feel like we need to wait to use it.
The next one will be a consultation. So you have to pay.
We shall actually come to your set
Yes.
to experience the experience of buying a car. Because we can't finish. Our viewers, if you new here, thank you. Subscribe. We love the bigger the better. If
Right.
you've been here before, you know the come. You share what spread the gospel.
Tell our friends.
And there's Africa's. If you're buying a car, please let us not knock. Let us not buy air, and let us not be in traffic jam calling Weko the shocks from yesterday.
That one of the cars was shit.
Yeah. So
It has sat.
so thank you for being here.
Yeah.
See you on the next one.
Be good.